Been a while since I did one of these kind of videos, mainly due to other kind of stuff like life and work and everything, but better late than never. So, here we go. For this one, I'm probably going to talk about anxiety. This is something that I've never really had my whole life, but I've been having for the past few years for certain reasons, kind of thing. Part of the reason of having anxiety is the stress that gets a little too much, and basically it just feels like my body is going cold to the point to where it almost feels like a heart attack or a panic attack or something that basically feels like my head or my mind kind of like spirals a bit, or it feels kind of heavy, and it just feels I'm kind of losing my equilibrium or my balance in a way. I think probably the earliest to pinpoint of anxiety would probably have to be during my time when I used to work at the Walmart fulfillment center. Um, that became a thing because of, weirdly enough, because of having about 5 years to get over my ex, since my one only time I actually had an ex, because she dumped me on Christmas Day 2013, and it took about literally 5 years to kind of get over that kind of pain. But what kind of transpired was something much worse than that in a crazy way. Um, Compared to most people, I don't go back to my ex or any kind of people that have poisoned my life, because I know who they are, what they become, basically their true colors. And after that experience, I don't go to those kind of people anymore. So, but going back to the point, it took me 5 years to get over my ex, and at that 5 year mark, in a way, I was working in Walmart. All of a sudden, um, I think I was actually going to sleep after coming home from work that day, and in a crazy, weird dream, the Joker, like from DC Comics kind of thing, Batman's greatest villain, um, basically came into my nightmare and basically kind of like took my facade of a mask in a way, shattered it, and basically put my mentality as vulnerable as possible, and start screaming out, "You're nothing. You will never be loved. You're worthless," etc., etc., etc. What was crazy is that after that, I started getting like crazy panic attacks and all kinds of weird stuff going down, like literally like the day after I had that nightmare. Um, because of that, I chose to take some time off from work to try to focus on this, even though it evolved to something much worse now than before. By the time I took about like maybe 6 or 7 weeks off of work to kind of like figure out what to kind of do for my part, um, basically afterwards, try to go back to work. Everybody switched here and there, so as soon as I tried to go to work, I pretty much did not know where I was going, where I was supposed to be, and basically, and literally, in a split second, I started having a panic attack and went to the break room to kind of relax in a way, because I literally lost basically where I was supposed to go and everything, since people changed and whatnot. So I was pretty much just kind of just going there with no direction or anything, no leadership or anything. So I just kind of like just trying to figure out what the hell to do, and that was really bad. Since that time, '80s kind of evolved into something much worse now than before, and it's gotten to a point to where a lot of times I have anxiety attacks when I try to sleep. Anxiety attacks created by thoughts of basically um, what happens when my life is over, like what happens afterwards. Um, like a crazy bunch of scenarios popped up, and anything that kind of like links to it or relates to it in some kind of way that kind of brings that thought up, back up in a way. My body starts to have a worse panic attack, and I start to literally go to a full anxiety attack and get cold, like my whole body shake, even when places where it's like not really cold or anything. I start to kind of sweat and basically feel like it feels like my brain is being crushed slowly in a crazy way. And what kind of helps is this breathing technique that I do, what they call the 478 technique. When I was in therapy a few years ago, they taught me about that one, and it kind of helps here and there. So, um, basically, breathe in 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and then let it go slowly by 8 seconds. And do that periodically. It's supposed to kind of like it calms down your head all the way to your toes, like a whole body kind of like relaxing in a way. Um, I think I forget when it was, but when the realization came by to where basically um, my life is temporary and it could expire anytime, that thought, that whole process that kind of manifested because of that one thought, it morphed into something much more cancerous and much more horrible to the point to where when a thought pops up, when the thought pops up, I have to either do that exercise or something else to kind of like put that in the void or put that in the back burner again. Because I'm not a big fan of the idea of human life being temporary. In fact, I hate the idea of being human. It's the worst thing ever because all I have is endless pain that kind of drives me nuts every single day to the point to where the alternative is pretty much looming over me every single day. And it kind of sucks because weirdly enough, the older I get, the worse it gets because of how life is becoming more and more of a tragedy every single day, like a cruel, sick joke. Friends not what they used to be anymore. Places turn out to be trash. Um, so many scenarios, so many scenarios, pretty much going against you in almost any way, shape, or form, and you have no way to change it or control it or anything. And it just feels like, why am I here in the first place when all I have or what I feel is endless pain every single time, almost every single day, due to past memories, current memories, and anything at all later on. So to some extent, I don't think about the future at all because when I literally think about it, the anxiety pops up and I start going very horrible to where my brain feels like it's actually being crushed, like crushing itself. So in a way, my mind basically feels like or basically my mind creates a battle every single day in a way, especially when I have like silences where I don't really hear much of anything and whatnot, and my thought process just goes really horrible and kind of multiplies by 1,000 to the point to where it feels like I need something to kind of distract me, to distract my mind from getting to that point to where the end is like right there kind of thing. And it kind of sucks because honestly, it literally does like morph over time the older I get. And people like see all the time, even in songs, movies, or even in real life, that I'm only human after all and love being human, all kind of stuff. It's just like, no, I hate it. I hate having painful memories. I hate having these mental illnesses. I hate having these problems that cause me to want to basically blow my head off every single time, because it all comes down to the point to where I feel it every single time. And if there was a way to kind of erase that part of my mind so that way I can forget all of the evil stuff that goes down past, current, or even the future, I would do it in a split second. But unfortunately, that's only sci-fi. So the only thing I have left nowadays is whatever friends I have left in general, which is also depleting more and more and more. And basically the fictional world, movies, music, video games, shows and stuff, anything that kind of put me outside of reality, because I have nothing but hatred towards life, reality, and people in general. I just don't want to be a part of it at all. I don't really feel like I'm a part of it at all. It just gets more and more of a realization to the point that I'm really just an anomaly to the rest of the human race every single day. Nothing really changes, nothing really works out. If only I could just kind of destroy it in one split second, I could, if I had the chance to. So it's just a never-ending battle, unfortunately, with my anxiety. That unfortunately just gets worse and worse over time as life turns into more and more of a cruel, sick joke. So, but yeah, for this video, it's basically me talking about anxiety, or at least my perspective on it, my experience, and how things are going for me. And the sad thing is, it never ends. It's like one form of cancer that will never be cured as long as I'm human, which I hate forever. But that's just me, so I don't think anybody can relate to me at all, or they think they can. I doubt it. So, what can you do?